the UAW launches a historic strike against all big three automakers. In a historic turn of events, the United Auto Workers (UAW) union has initiated a strike against all three major automakers simultaneously. This unprecedented move came after negotiations for a new contract failed to reach an agreement by the 11:59 p.m. deadline on Thursday. The unconventional start. This strike, however, doesn't involve the entirety of the nearly 150,000 union members employed by these automakers. Instead, it began with workers at three Midwest auto plants, a General Motors assembly plant in Wentzville, Missouri, a Stellantis assembly plant in Toledo, Ohio, and a portion of a Ford plant in Wayne, Michigan. This initial action encompasses just under 13,000 workers, which is less than 9% of the total UAW membership across the three companies. But it's important to note that additional locations could join the strike at any moment, adding to the uncertainty for the automakers. A bold strategy. UAW President Shawn Fain has labeled this strike as a stand-up strike strategy. It's a significant departure from the union's traditional playbook, which usually involved all union members at a single company walking off the job simultaneously. Furthermore, the UAW has chosen to negotiate with all three automakers concurrently, another departure from its previous approach. Fain, the first democratically elected leader of the UAW, has adopted a more confrontational stance during negotiations. He has emphasized key economic demands, including a 40% pay raise to align with CEO wage increases, the restoration of pensions and retiree healthcare, and cost of living adjustments. The past informs the present. The echoes of concessions made during the 2008 financial crisis still resonate among UAW workers. These concessions have shaped the dynamics of the current negotiations. Fain's strategy also hinges on the automakers' soaring profits in recent years, contrasting them with modest pay increases for auto workers. He highlights that the Big Three's profits have surged by 65% over 4 years, while auto workers' pay increased by just 6% during the same period. Electric vehicle transition. Adding to the complexity of negotiations is the auto industry's transition to electric vehicles (EVs). The UAW is advocating for protections for workers as companies increasingly invest in EV production, raising concerns about the impact on traditional auto jobs. Economic implications. A prolonged strike carries the potential to impact the U.S. economy. If all 150,000 UAW auto union members were to strike for 6 weeks, it could shave an estimated 0.2% off fourth-quarter GDP. While this might seem relatively small, it could compound other economic challenges, such as rising gas prices and the end of the student loan moratorium. Automakers' perspective. The automakers have made adjustments to their initial wage proposals, offering increases of up to 20%. However, the union argues that these offers do not adequately account for years of stagnant wages. The companies have also introduced cost-of-living protections, but the union contends that these measures wouldn't provide sufficient wage protection against inflation over the next 4.5 years. Ford CEO Jim Farley has expressed concerns that meeting all of the UAW's demands would lead to substantial financial losses, potentially pushing the company towards bankruptcy. The broader labor landscape. The UAW strike is the 17th involving more than 2,000 workers in the U.S. this year. Many other unions have also threatened to strike, leading to significant gains for workers in some cases. However, experts suggest that auto workers might not have the same bargaining power as workers in other industries due to increased competition from foreign automakers in the U.S. This strike represents a pivotal moment for the UAW and the auto industry as a whole. The coming days will determine whether this unconventional approach yields the desired results for the union and its members. In this historic strike, the UAW has taken a bold step in its negotiations with the Big Three automakers. The outcome of this strike could have far-reaching consequences for both the U.S. economy and the future of auto workers. As the standoff continues, the world watches closely to see how this defining moment unfolds. Frequently asked questions, FAQs. What led to the UAW strike against all big three automakers? The strike resulted from failed negotiations for a new contract between the United Auto Workers Union and the three major automakers, General Motors, Stellantis, and Ford. Why did the strike start with only a few auto plants? The initial strike action involved specific auto plants in the Midwest, with the intention of potentially expanding to other locations as negotiations progressed. What are the key demands of the UAW during this strike? The UAW is primarily seeking a 40% pay raise, the restoration of pensions and retiree healthcare, and cost of living adjustments. How have the automakers responded to the strike? The automakers have adjusted their initial wage proposals and introduced cost of living protections. However, there are disagreements between the companies and the union regarding these offers. What is the potential economic impact of a prolonged UAW strike? If all UAW members were to strike for an extended period, it could have a small but noticeable impact on the U.S. economy, including factors like GDP and gas prices.